not stupid. They know exactly what they're doing. It is so fucking political.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I was gonna say. I was gonna take fuck out.
Now I have to figure out. All right. We are live at the Hyatt Regency where we just heard the Florida Board of Medicine.
Because there are people that are really worried about that. Like,
I want to admit. Okay. Where we just heard the Florida Board of Medicine make a very big recommendation for rulemaking for a ban on transgender youth and health care. And we are currently reflecting back on the fact that we got kicked out at the meeting at one point. All of our testimony was shut down. They stacked the testimony, and we are about to set up the press conference and have our people speak. Because we are inside the airport and we cannot have amplified sound, so we're going to try to move to a quieter area. And I'm going to also switch over and try to people that are wanting to come in, and then turn the camera around so you can see our participants. All right, gang. We are currently having a live stream from YouTube, as well as our Zoom participants are here. I'm going to turn the camera around. Let's find an appropriate backdrop, like maybe over there with or maybe right here in front of these nice cops, or maybe not so nice cops. So if our speakers and the people supporting them want to come over here. Yeah, you can read, you can do whatever you want to do. There's not really any rules here because we had to change the name of the. Do you want people standing behind you? Yeah. Can we get some people standing behind our brave allies and out and strong and trans folks? Please, ally, welcome. We need all of you here. And without you, we would be lost for sure. Okay. People can't see me, but my name is Lakey Love. I use they, them pronouns. I'm the co-founder of Florida Coalition for Transgender Liberation. We are very saddened, disheartened today, angry, pissed off, emboldened. We had over 100 people turn out to speak on our behalf. They let about 30 people speak. 20 or so were from the other side because they stacked their cards ahead of us. Then they shut down our ability to speak. So they silenced the public, and then they moved forward with a police presence to remove people from the room, right? To remove the audience from the room. So they're removing the public, removing people like myself that had driven 5-6 hours to be here, spent hard-earned money to come defend trans kids and ourselves from a program like genocidal move to put us on registries and then ban access to gender-affirming care. And this is the beginning of a long battle that's been going on in Florida for several years. It started way back with cross-dressing laws and has come all the way into 2022 with a hateful governor who appointed a board of medicine that is now politically charged on the back of trans youth and their ability to save themselves and do what they need to do in order to be who they are. So I'm welcoming our first speaker. I'm going to let you go ahead and say your name and your position in PFLAG and tell us why you're here and how angry you are that you are now allowed to speak.
So angry. Thank you. Jennifer Solomon. I'm the president of PFLAG in South Miami chapter.
I'm a parent, and I came here also, traveled 4 hours to speak out for my families, for my own. I have an 11-year-old gender nonconforming child, and I'm sick of fighting, but I will tell you, I'm going to continue to fight. I'm going to read what I was going to say to them because I want it to still get out there, because my voice, our voices need to be heard. And the fact that I was here at 7:30 in the morning to sign up to speak, and none of those folks from the other side were here. So they clearly took out who they wanted to speak, what voices they wanted to hear. They don't even live in the state of Florida. I'm a parent here with a child in this state, and I'm going to speak whenever I can. So this is what I was going to say. Oh, and there's my child.
Yay, welcome. Come stand with your amazing
I am the
parents.
proudest mom of this child. So here's what I was going to say. I was going to say, good morning. I stand here today as a registered nurse, president of PFLAG South Miami, and most importantly, as a parent. I'm asking you each to put politics aside and vote as the medical professionals you are. You took an oath when you received your medical license to do no harm. Trans kids are kids like all children, and they deserve the chance to be their best and to thrive. By blocking access to gender affirming care, you are harming the most vulnerable youth, and that is the truth. So I was gonna ask them, are you curious? I'm curious, have you ever treated a trans child? And I don't believe any of them ever have. Have you ever sat with a family and gone over medical options on how to keep their child healthy? If so, you would know that as parents, we want our children to have the best chance to grow up happy and healthy. By creating these discriminatory standards today, you are making a blanket ruling that decides medical care for thousands of children. I'm happy to share with you stories of children that would rather die than live without blockers or HRT. These parents know what's at stake if their kids aren't able to receive care. The risk of losing them increases tremendously. We are simply asking, which some of our folks were able to do, to follow the WPATH standards that are already in place. Every major medical association follows these guidelines and agrees it's the best way. Would they tell a diabetic child that they can't have access to
That's
insulin?
right.
This is life-saving medication for our kids. And I don't know why the standards are different for our trans kids, because clearly they don't do this across the board. This political attack on trans youth is plain cruel, and history will remember. You never know when this could become personal to someone you love. So I was asking them to vote as the medical professionals you are, and not as pawns in the sick game of power and control. The children of Florida and their families are counting on you to do the right thing and allow us to make medical decisions with our doctors, not politicians.
Woo! Y'all give it up.
I wasn't able to say it, but
Give it up. All right, next speaker.
I'm Rebecca Davis. I'm a mom of a beautiful transgender daughter who I am hoping will be able to stay on her medication. I'm desperate. I'm pessimistic, but I'm doing all I can to speak for her and hopefully protect her from these draconian rules that are about to deny her health care. I am a native Floridian. I took off from work and drove from St. Augustine to be here to support her. I did sign up to speak. I was not allowed to speak. Instead, they allowed people from out of the country, from out of the state, instead of allowing Floridians to speak. It was obvious that they had already decided who was going to be speaking. So I wasn't allowed to speak on her behalf. So I'm grateful that I can right now. I am not well off. My entire experience in Florida, I don't want to have to move. However, I will do whatever it takes to protect my child. From age 6 to 13, she was a suicide risk. We did not know what was wrong. She went to so many therapists, so many doctors. At age 14, she was diagnosed finally with gender dysphoria, and she was allowed to be put on puberty blockers while she socially transitioned. This was extremely difficult. We went through so many processes and approvals and hoops and consent forms and doctors' evaluations and therapies, and We went through so much to get to the point where she was finally allowed healthcare. When she was finally allowed healthcare, she completely changed her demeanor. She was suddenly happy for the first time. I saw her smile, laugh, interact with her peers socially. She has friends over. She has friends. She's straight A student. She's looking forward to her future in computer science. And the change it's life-changing. It was life-saving. It saved her life. She just turned 16. There are rules in place, already rules in place that we have followed. She was finally allowed to start HRT. I am terrified if they decide that she is no longer allowed to access this life-saving healthcare. What will happen to her? What will happen to our family? Will we have to go back to worrying about her every single day, worrying about whether or not she's going to harm herself because she cannot stand to live a lie? I am grateful that she so far has been allowed to have access to healthcare. I am so afraid that that access is going to start to be denied. Thank you.
We love you.
I'll take on my last clips. Hello, everyone. My name is Stephen Rocha. I am the policy director for PRISM Florida. That is a organization based in South Florida that's dedicated to getting out sexual health information and resources for LGBT youth in South Florida. I would say I'm very happy to be here, but unfortunately I'm not due to everything that's happened. But I have a statement that I prepared, so I'm going to read it to all of you now. So I give my intro. I have come here to say this. The Board of Medicine, which purports to base its decisions on current science, is doing nothing of the sort. This group is roundly unqualified to speak on gender-affirming care. If it were, it would take seriously the opinions of providers and patients who have firsthand experiences with transgender healthcare and best practices instead of denying their voices. If it were, bigots and conspiracy theorists would not be free to spout vitriol and misinformation while the targets of transphobia are forced to sit and take it. If it were, we wouldn't be here today. In the previous meeting on August 5th, terms as basic as top surgery had to be defined because that knowledge was lacking. If someone doesn't even know that, there is no way that they can understand the nuances of trans experiences and the healthcare that saves lives. A cardiologist doesn't know the ins and outs of skin cancer. A plastic surgeon doesn't know how to prescribe psychiatric medications. Being a doctor doesn't automatically qualify you to make rules that affect trans youth. You don't have firsthand experience, and you have routinely invalidated the professional opinions of those who do. I received gender-affirming care. I received hormones, testosterone that saved my life and let me be at peace in my body. And I have never regretted that decision, not for a single second. People who are denied access to care die. When a trans person needs that care, but can't access it due to poverty, parental denial, transphobic legislation, it eats them up inside. It feels like there is no hope for their future. It feels that they can never live how they want to, so why live at all? I know because I felt that darkness. I lived it for years, and I am still here to tell the tale. Most people aren't that lucky. There is a human cost to this battle. Trans people are not pawns in a political game. We are not your scapegoat. We are human beings just like anyone else in this state and this country. Trans youth want to spend our time living our lives and pursuing our dreams, not sitting here and begging for our rights. Thank you for your time.
Hell yeah. You want to take us out? Did you want to speak? You want to take us out, Sam? Press conference is rolling on Zoom and YouTube live.
Actually,
We want to pass? Okay.
it's cool. I was
Why don't
writing-
we stand out in the middle of the hallway? Okay.
I was writing it the whole time.
I have a speaker in my bag, but why don't you just go ahead and be loud because
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, so this is what I had prepared for the meeting.
Okay.
So, hello, my name is Sam. I'm here with the Florida Coalition for Trans Liberation. Yeah, I was a manager for a school club called Sexuality and Gender Acceptance, which was SARA, in high school. Our mission was to provide support for our peers in a safe environment, supervised by 2 or more teachers. Too many of those gender diverse teenagers, too many of my friends face addiction, homelessness, anxiety, depression, eating disorders, dissociation, and suicidal ideation, of course, as a result of direct harassment, bullying, and ignorance, also rape. One of my friends did this cruel and unusual treatment could have been easily avoided by basic education about the distinction between sex and gender, as well as the relationship between the two. Non-binary or gender non-conforming individuals are commonly referred to as part of the trans community. It's fairly common among the small fraction of Florida's total population that individuals do not seek surgery. It's not central to the trans experience. So to focus for the board and for those officials to focus, and fixate, and obsess over surgeries is reckless, as it suggests that social transition and hormone treatments are less important. The impact would be the same as never eating interventions. It's not enough. The most important care is social transition. Names, pronouns, and also clothes are all temporary. All three are personal choices which need to be respected and need to be protected. Any ban for trans youth getting the healthcare and support that they need is wrong, and it will kill children. Any registry for trans adults or children would not only mirror practices to isolate and monitor people, communities who later faced genocidal violence, but any registry would also open up opportunities for the abuse of personal information by the public and private entities. Trans people and trans kids are under threat of genocide as murders and threats of gun violence rise. Children and teenagers are seeing their peers kill themselves or get killed by shootings, school shootings, and hate crimes. We are more than just trans. You judge us before you even get to know us. I'm a creative, a brother, a pet owner, and a child to an Air Force veteran. I'm a first-generation college student, and I'm trans. I'm also afraid for my safety, for the safety of my community. I don't want to see my friends die because others decide to kill us, silence us, insult us, bully us, fire us, and throw us on the streets. It is unconstitutional and inhumane.
All right. Thanks, Sam.
Yes.
I'm gonna go ahead and flip the camera. Hey, can everybody sort of line up behind me and say goodbye? And maybe let's do a quick chant. Because I want people to do this seesaw sort of like we're saying goodbye. Oh. And maybe we can say trans lives matter and hell no we won't go. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Trans lives matter. Hell no, we won't go. Hell no, we won't go. Hell no, we won't go. Hell no.
All right. Thanks, everybody. And if you're media, I'll make sure to send you the recording. We are not allowed to have amplified sound. It got really messed up. So thanks for this strange adaptation to our normal press conference. And we're sending you all love. If you have any questions, please let me know. We have other people that are willing to do one-on-one interviews online. Okay. Thanks, everybody.